Hello again, Pinball Wizard 192 aka Simon Thompson here in my very first vlog review of Avengers Age of Ultron. Just before we go ahead, I just want to apologise for being off the face of the earth for the past several months. You know, I've been busy with my uni work and some other stuff. Especially that I went to my brother's wedding and went on a holiday, and I will be going back to uni soon in this late September. It'll be my third and final year, and it will be more busy and hardworking, so it might be hard for me to put some more videos on YouTube. I'll try as humanly as possible, but I don't make much promises. Also, just to get a heads up, there will be some spoilers in this video about this movie. So if you haven't seen Avengers Age of Ultron, I just suggest you stop the video right now. You have been warned. Okay? Right, good. So Avengers Age of Ultron is basically the sequel to the first Avengers movie that came out in 2012. It stars Captain America, Tony Stark, Hulk, Black Widow, Hawkeye, all those heroes that you know from the first movie are back, as well as new additions and many other cast stars, that you may know from other movies that are in it, that I'll delve into more later on. That these are the heroes. They go up against the psychopathic robot, which is created by Tony Stark, but originally in the comics it was created by the original Ant-Man, Hank Pym. And they go up against him, these heroes go up against Ultron, who's hellbent on human extinction, which is something, it sounds something similar to like many other movies like Terminator 2, Judgment Day, and like the plot line, some bits in this movie are like similar to what the first Avengers movie did, but there are a few twists, there are a few twists and turns in it, so let's get right down to it. The opening scene, it is sorry, I forgot to mention. I've got like some notes around me, and I'm sorry, I'm not very good at remembering stuff. There's like a whole lot of stuff to talk about about this movie, because it's a lot of things to know how they link and all that. So yeah, sorry. The opening scene was amazing. You know, it's basically like the Avengers go up against Hydra at this base in Sokovia. You know, where that end credit scene in Captain America: Winter Soldier. You ever seen that one? If you ever seen that movie, which is really good, the end credit scene, you know, show the twins. You know, with Pietro Maximoff. You know, the speedy one and the fast one, and Wanda Maximoff, the witch, you know, Scarlet Witch, you know, telekinesis and all that. Love the editing in the scene, and I like the kick-ass slow-mo of, you know, the Avengers, you know, in a lineup, or with them, well, not including the twins because they were shown later on. It's a nice introduction to Maximoff twins. I love the collaboration between Cap and Thor. You know, like, you know, when Thor hits on Cap's shield, and it's sort of like give out a shockwave to the Hydra soldiers. I don't know how that works, but it's awesome. The reply, and I like. You know, Cap's in charge, you know, of everyone and everything they say, you know, and then like when Tony Stark aka Ant-Man just went shit, and then Cap says language. It's just, we're trying to make it as a kids movie as possible, but it's a 12A. But anyway, and when Tony Stark gets into the building, you know, like there's funny moments in this movie. There's great moments. It's so good. It's got humorous lines. It's directed by Joss Whedon and written by he still does really good in this. The reply from the Hydra agent was hilarious. You know, when Tony Stark, Iron Man, comes in, he just starts shooting him. He says, "Guys, come on, we gotta turn this out." And he just shoots him down. And he says, "Good talk." And then he's like, "Oh, no, it wasn't." So good. And when the Cap is going up to capture Baron Wolfgang von Strucker, who's in charge of the base, this is when he comes up against when Wanda comes in and throws Cap back. There's sort of this weird editing technique where Wanda walks backward before she closes the door. It's sort of, I don't know, it's something like in a horror movie or something, but I don't know, it is just me. And there's and when Tony Stark was this is all just like to get the reason why they went to the base is because they like to get Loki's scepter, so Thor can take it back to Asgard, because it's been taken by Hydra somehow. Well, so Hydra is within S.H.I.E.L.D. the whole time, so yeah, they somehow got Loki's scepter since the first Avengers movie. When Iron Man, Tony Stark, is about to get it, he takes Wanda gives him a vision of the future, if he did something wrong, and he just sees all of his friends, his comrades, dead in this dimension or some kind, and he sees Hulk, with just on the ground, just struggling, and the spears on the back. It's just gritty and dark, and he goes up to Captain America, and he just says, "You could have saved us. Why couldn't you do more?" It's this like Vision is like encouraging him, by Wanda, and then he takes the scepter as she intended him to do, and I love all the characters. They got their good moments, and which I'll be doing more into. Captain America, his costume is improved. I think it's more better than the first movie. Way more better. Thor is still enjoyable. He's got great. He's still laughable, and he's more interactive with all the other members. When he's gives status about the Hulk, what he's done, with the Hydra agents, he's all, the gates of hell are filled with all the screams of, but not the screams of the dead, of course not, and he's just awkward. It's trying to, since Bruce Banner, he's just trying to keep calm and all that, and then the Black Widow's like, really, Thor? Oh, it's just, what else was there? Oh yeah, I love the design of the Quinjet. And the light is the next is in the party scene. Was where Thor and Tony Stark mentioned about their girlfriends. And the Thor just ended up going Jane's much more better than yours. Also, there's great cameos from Sam Wilson, who's been talking with Cap, just sorting out their search for Bucky. He was not shown later on again, but I'll be talking more about him in my next vlog review on Ant-Man. James Rhodes was there. He has his own story that none of the Avengers get, but some people do. And also Stan Lee was there, and when he was I think he was some sort of a retired general or something. He and his friends had this 1,000-year-old drink with Thor, which he says is from the wreck of Brunhilde's fleet. And when he was leaving, he says, "Excelsior." Oh, that's amazing. There's also that scene we get to see the scene where all the Avengers try to lift up Thor's hammer. It's so good, you know how it goes because you've seen it on before the film came out. And Ultron makes a brilliant entry. Tony's monologue about the mysterious danger from beyond Earth is he's I know Tony Stark I know you're thinking Tony Stark never learns from his mistakes, whenever trying to make something better for the world, it always comes terribly wrong, but he's Tony Stark. He's tortured since the Battle of New York because of the problem, he's feared about, it's like what he said, whatever happens on Earth, that out there, right, what I've just experienced, that's the end game. That's the big thing that's coming up soon. Avengers Infinity War. Not far off now. well, yeah, I think it's still very far off, but it's coming soon, really. Very exciting. And the Cats make a nice comeback. It was like, you know, Tony's a bit worried. He's like, how are we planning to do this, you know, since I made this terrible mistake in creating Ultron. And Cap says, we do it together. It says, and Tony says, we're going to lose. And I say, then we do that together. Simple as that. And it's also Wanda is like it's Wanda and Pietro, the twins, who were working with what's it called again? Oh yeah, Beowulf getting wrong struck, and they now work for Ultron for some because they want to they hate Tony Stark, you know, because they want revenge, you know, for killing their parents, you know, because one of the bombs dropped there. And and they had a little sort of backstory. Scarlet Witch is another good female addition to the Avengers. It's a little backstory. The Quicksilver is, to be honest, is not cool as the X-Men universe version, but still pretty good. There's a little backstory for both of the twins, and I'm sorry, but their accents are terrible. I know that they're trying, but they don't. I don't see them as Sokovians. I just see them as as actors just trying to be Sokovian citizens. But even maybe I could try it a little, but I don't think I could get it out. But I know they tried, but it just doesn't come through at all as Sokovia. So it's just a bit fluent to me. But anyway. And the Quicksilver comes off as a secondary character, even though he had good moments in this movie, but he's not as the best as the X-Men universe, so that's me. Anyway, the Ultron is really greatly played by you know, great acting and motion capture performance by who's it called? James Spader from Blacklist. But the design kind of reminds me a bit of Transformers. You know, he may have. I know some of the people. He should have looked more scary, like in the comics, like a jack-o'-lantern, but still, it's impressive. And the only problem is he doesn't have much build up. You see, he's like, you know, busted and ruined. You know, in his first form when the Avengers were messing with Thor's hammer, and it's just go quick by that when he goes into this new form called Ultron Prime. It's just not really much build up. He could just go in some other forms before he could go to that and to his very final form in the last part of the movie. But yeah, that's just me anyway. So it's like when they find out, you know, the Avengers like find out like where Ultron is like trying to, you know, Ultron just like went to South Africa, you know, to get some vibranium from Ulysses Claw, which is just which indicates, you know, that there's a Black Panther movie coming up because vibranium comes from South Africa, you know, the one Wakanda nation. You know, and Ulysses Claw is played brilliant by Andy Serkis, and I can't wait to see him again. And there's also like Wanda like messes up with three of the heroes' minds. You know, that like four Captain America, Black Widow, even the Hulk. We'll get to the Hulk in a moment. Black Widow remembers her time at this KG at a time in the KGB in the Red Room, which was shown in Agent Carter, which in episode Agent Carter, which I think came before this movie came out. Also, Cap seeing a life which it could have with Peggy Carter, but you know, and Thor's future vision, which coincides with the third movie he has got, which is Thor Ragnarok. Haley Atwell and Idris Elba show up, you know, and with in like Thor's vision, which will be shown later on when you go to this pool. It shows like 4 of the Infinity Stones that we've seen so far, like the Power Stone, the Space Stone, the Power Stone, the Space Stone. and the Power Stone, the Space Stone. I can't remember. The Space Stone, the Power Stone, the Mind Stone, which I'm going to be delving more into later, and also the Reality Stone. Yeah, those are the four that we see that's been shown in Thor's vision, and also a glimpse of Vision himself, the superhero, which I'll be talking more about later, which can't wait. Hawkeye. I forgot to mention Hawkeye. Oh, he's more involved in this, and it's more brilliant. He's like got he's much more developed, good dialogue. He's got a family. He's got a family introduced, which I'll be doing more in later. More attention. He's got like a good interaction with Wanda. You know, at the final battle. Yeah. It's a Hulk, by the way, is this got this Hawkeye was on the side before Hawkeye was nearly brainwashed by Wanda, but he just like electrocutes her in on her head, and he's just like, yeah, I done the whole mind control thing, honey. Not a big fan. No way. That's a great comeback. Oh. It's just like he doesn't want to go through that again, so that's why I love him more in this movie than the very first one. That's why, yeah, he's so brilliant and badass. We got the superb fight between Hulk and Iron Man in the Mark 44 XL5, Mark 44 or the XL5, or which is also called Veronica, which somehow works like the Mark 42 from Iron Man 3. Which is really impressive. A nice, it's a great fight. You've probably seen it before. It's just like I love like when Tony Stark just like one of his arms is just like punching him many times and the whole face. And he's like, go to sleep, 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 please. I'm trying to make you go to sleep. We've done too much destruction. Oh, so brilliant. Now they've been torn down, since Wanda got into their minds, so that they break down. They just need to like a place to calm down and all that. So they went to like Hawkeye's family place, like Mrs. Barton. I can't remember her first name. And she's played by the woman who played Velma in the Scooby-Doo live action movies. I know, big shock. And I forgot to mention, like, there's this nice tender moment between Natasha and Banner, Natasha Black Widow and Banner, aka the Hulk. There's like sort of like a romance between these two heroes. And I know some people are saying, why aren't Hawkeye and Black Widow together like they were in the comics and some and other stuff, like in the animated series, like they share one tender moment kiss, but that was mainly it. I really don't mind it because it's like what they said. It's like what they both say, that they're monsters. It's like when Banner's had a look at Barton's family. He just say I can't have this. I can't have kids, and she says that she went through this initiation and that she can't have any kids, so it doesn't really matter at all. So they just leave and just disappear, and just live happily together on their own in their own lives. And there's also like a clip of Cap and Tony arguing with each other, struggling to deal with the fact who's to blame for getting their butts whooped by Wanda, Pietro, and Ultron. And it really follows. It's like a glimpse to the next Captain America movie, which is Captain America: Civil War. It's really good dialogue, and it was good to see Nick Fury again. Just trying to encourage Tony to get back on his feet and the other Avengers. And then also Ultron. He went to Seoul in South Korea, I think it is, or North Korea, I don't know. It's in Korea. And has Helen Cho under Helen Cho, Tony Stark's assistants at Stark Industries, under mind control to create a strong new body for him, which is basically Vision, but I'll go with that. Through, you know, like mixing synthetic tissue technology with vibranium. He shatters the blue casing of Loki's scepter, which shows the mind gem, which is going to go on his perfect, as a yellow stone, when it puts on the forehead of the body. So you might say Vision is sort of like Adam Warlock, but I'll get more to that. But sort of like, but yeah, but we'll get more to that. Thor revisits his dream, you know, he's just trying to investigate more about his vision, you know, the water sites for Eric Selvig. You know, Eric Selvig is back in this movie, you know, coming in. Great chase scene in Seoul. Ultron Prime turns to Ultron, Ultimate Ultron in his vibranium form, since he doesn't have the body anymore because it's been taken by the Avengers, but also Black Widow got captured. Tony and Bruce plan to reconfigure Jarvis, you know, because Jarvis was like attacked, you know, when Ultron was created as an artificial intelligence, but luckily he wasn't attacked. Luckily he was not killed. He was just, you know, been suspensed, you know, and Jarvis just went undercover, just trying to, you know, not have Ultron take these nuclear codes for the nuclear warheads. You know, he's been undercover all the whole time, and he wants to go ahead, you know, being put into this body that Ultron was creating. And so Tony and Banner, you know, do this, you know, go away with it. But Pietro and Wanda, you know, who have been turned, you know, who just saw Ultron's ways earlier on when Hela Cho was under his control through the mind gem. They turned against him, but now they join up with Avengers, you know, Cap. They trying to stop, you know, Bruce and Tony, because it's a bad idea, you know, because they don't want that to happen again, since, you know, like Ultron. But Thor comes in and he pulls a Frankenstein, you know, with lightning, and he brings, you know, goes, and he brings Vision to life. Now Vision is just magnificent. Even though I love Captain America, but Vision is like the most spectacular character out of this whole movie. I really love the makeup he's done, the design, this, you know, the colouring and all that. It's just, even though it doesn't look close to comic, it looks good. He looks a bit more human, all that, if you know what I mean. Even though he's a robot. I love the dialogue. Caught me complete, and love the dialogue. And it's you know, it's just, I don't want it, and he's just asked by, you know. You know, he's being asked by Bruce Banner, you know, it's like, if you're the monster Ultron made you to be, and then if we're wrong about you, if Ultron has made you the monster to be, and then Vision just interrupted him, you know, what would you do? Also, Paul Bettany plays Vision, you know, in full form. He was like voicing Jarvis, but now he is Vision. He didn't say his name is Vision, you know. He's just like, I'm not Jarvis. I'm not Ultron. I am. And that's like, everyone probably was just going like saying, are you God? You know, because I think when I was watching that, I probably didn't think about that the first time, but I think I did, because that's the phrase of what God said to Moses in Exodus, you know, when he was talking to him, you know, in the burning bush and all that, but anyway, he's just like going to the planet, I don't want to kill Ultron. He's unique, he's in pain, but that pain will roll over the earth. He will express that pain all over the earth, you know, he will destroy them. So he must be defeated. Every form is built, every trace is of his presence on the net. We have to act now. And one of us can't do it without the others. He said, maybe I am a monster. Maybe, I don't think there is, and I don't think I know if I were one. And I'm not what you are, I'm not what you intended. So maybe there may not be a way to trust me, but we have to go. We have to go right now. And at that point, he picks up Thor's hammer and gives it to him, and everyone in the theatre, and all the other Avengers and Thor were just like, and it's caught me completely by surprise. It's so good, and it's like many people wondering, like, say, you know, it's so many theories, and It's probably because there's so many theories like he might be worthy, you know, since he was only just born, you know, he doesn't have any flaws like any other Avengers have. What was it for? I don't know. It might be the mind gem, you know, because its power predates, you know, Odin's enchantment on Mjolnir, Thor's hammer. I don't think he's a robot. I don't think that he's a robot. That a robot could lift a hammer. I don't think that works that way. But anyway, that's just me. Also, so now that Jarvis is gone, this new intelligence that Tony put in is Fireman. Is voiced by Kerry Condon, who played Octavia of the Julie in the HBO series Rome. Kat makes a grand speech before the battle, which reminds me of Kat makes a good speech, you know, before like the final battle, you know, at Sokovia, where Ultron is making his grand plan for bringing the end of the Earth. It's like a main moral story. Ultron thinks we're all monsters. Ultron thinks we're all monsters, and what's wrong with the world. This isn't just about beating him. It's about whether he's right. That's making a good point, because it's like trying to make, are we monsters or not? Are we like making things bad wrong in the world? So there's sometimes maybe we might be, sometimes we might not be. Love the ending. Really love the ending battle. Nick Fury like makes a huge I forgot many other things I mentioned about. Oh yeah, Battle Wolfgang von Stucker. Good acting for Thomas Kretchen. He was wasted. He was like killed in this movie, and it's like wasted opportunities as a villain. But he was a minor role. Yeah, set design. Avenger Tower. Yeah, the Avenger Tower looks impressive. You know, we've seen a glimpse of it in again in Captain America: Winter Soldier. Special effects, visual looks are impressive. Just like I said, you know, with Ultron, you know, and still with the Hulk and the Vision and many others. The effects seem to be improved a little more. Right, so the ending battle. Nick Fury is back again. He makes an epic comeback in the helicarrier. War Machine shows up. Brilliant seeing, you know, Vision just like using Mjolnir, and he's like, it's terribly well balanced. And then, you know, Thor replies like, well, if there's too much weight, you lose weight on this, lose power on the swing. So, yeah. And that's brilliant. And when all the heroes are all together again, you know, just trying to protect the key. You see, Ultron's plan here, you know, is just they need to like protect the key, you know, from Ultron activating it, you know, because he used all this vibranium, this technology in Sokovia to lift the landmass of Sokovia into the air, and when it gets high enough, bring it down to the earth, and boom, like a meteorite, complete total destruction of the world itself. It's like the dinosaurs. I like when it's like a funny bit when Thor goes, "Is that the best you can do?" And then Ultron just goes, you know, like brings all the drones behind him, and Cap just goes like, you really have to ask." And you know, it's just it's like a great panning shot, a slow panning shot of all the heroes fighting together. Wanda, including the Maximoff twins, Vision, and all the other heroes. And it's good to see, you know, like Vision using his powers, you know, like Mandarin just shooting, you know, like in the comics. Well, in the comics it was a red laser stone, but yeah. And also using his phasing, you know, it's sort of like, you know, green in that way because yeah, it's great. What else is there? Yeah, and I love it when Vision interrupts War Machine when he's trying to get rid of the drones that are leaving, you know, trying to escape. And he just goes, okay, what? And when Ultron just gets beat up by Hulk, and he uses the Quinjet, you know, to create more chaos, and he sings a Pinocchio song, he's like beat up, and he just goes like, I got no strings, so I have fun. I'm not tied up to anyone. It's kind of creepy that way. And also big spoilers like here. It's like Whedon did say that someone is going to die in this movie, and he was right. And you all will be thinking like it was Clint Barton, aka Hawkeye, that's going to die. He's got a family and all that, but no, he's not gonna. He's not the one that's died. Pietro just come in, and all the students just get at him, and yeah, he's dead. Yeah, Quicksilver of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is dead, even though Aaron Taylor Johnson, the guy that played Pietro, signed for a multi-picture movie deal, but Kevin Feige confirmed he was dead, but we may never know. It might not be true, but still, he's confirmed he's dead, so yeah. And when that happened, Wanda senses, this, and she breaks down when she's trying to protect the key. All these drones coming in at her, they just blow up, and then she's. I love it when Ultron gets kicked out of the Quinjet when Hulk comes in and he says, "Oh, for God's sake!" And when for God's sake, and then when Hulk just gets in that, it's just like language. It's so funny. Wanda leaves her post at the key. She's like hell bent on revenge. For Ultron. It's like a wombat, and this is why I think she's good. She's a really great in this scene. And this is a really great scene of hers. In this movie, I think she's the best in Maximoff twins. And then Ultron's just talked to her, just trying to warn her that, please, Wanda, if you stay here, you die. And then she just says, I just did. You know how it felt? And then she just ripped out the core of Ultron and grabs it, and then she says it felt like that. And the drone activate one of Ultron's drone, activates the anti-gravity machine, but Thor and Iron Man managed to overload it, destroying the landmass, before it comes to the ground, Unfortunately for Hulk, he departs on the Quinjet, so we won't be seeing him very soon until Avengers Infinity Wars. Hopefully we'll see him in Avengers Infinity Wars, but I don't know. I've been praying that they hope to make another Hulk movie, but they don't make much promises, unfortunately. There was the last confrontation between Vision and Ultron. It was good, and Vision's like, oh, that you're afraid. Of you? I know. He's like, I know. Vision's like, of death. And you're the last one. You were supposed to be the last. And Ultron's start asks for a savior. He settled for a slave, and they just go. And then Vision, I suppose we are disappointed. And then Ultron kind of really agrees to that. Vision just talks about how humans are odd, and they think odd and chaos somehow opposites, and try to control what won't be. But there are grace in their failings. They make mistakes, but it's like sort of way they make mistakes, but they learn from them. And I think you missed that. But Ultron doesn't. It just says they're doomed. And Vision says, well, yeah, we probably be doomed. But it's a privilege to be among these humans. How long it lasts. This is beautiful because it lasts. And then just Ultron just goes, you're unbelievably naive, and Vision just goes, well, I was born yesterday. And then he just blows him up, Ultron just trying to give him one last whack, but Ultron just blows him up, just killing him right off the face of the earth. That is why I really love this character. He's so complex, and I can't wait to see more of him in Captain America Civil War. The Avengers get a new base, this is the ending, which is run by Maria Hill, Fury, Helen Cho, and Selvig. Ford departs, to Asgard to investigate more about, the Infinity Stones, and Clint departs, to be with his family, but we'll be back again in Captain America Civil War. Stark retires, Stark, Cap, and Thor, they had this nice moment, by Earth, well, if an elevator can lift a hammer, the lift will go up, and the elevator is not worthy. It's good funny lines in this movie. It's just brilliant. Cap is like in charge of a new team of Avengers, like the new Avengers, along with Black Widow. Black Widow. All the Avengers all the members are like Black Widow, Vision, War Machine, Falcon in the new design, more red. He's got these wings back, but there's more red and all that. But and he will be back in the next movie I'm going to be talking about. And Scarlet Witch, who gets a new costume, you know, it's good design, yeah. Oh yeah, I talked about forgot the costume designs. They look on the Maximoff twins. They look good. Just I think the costume design of Pietro looks more better than the X-Men Days of Future Past. It kind of look X-Men Days of Future Past kind of looks the same, but Peter Maximoff in that was I did a really great scene. You know, in that one is so brilliant. And so even though I love Pietro, even though I don't mind Pietro in this one, but I think the other Maximoff, the Quicksilver in the X-Men Days of Future Past was much more better, despite the silly costume design that he has. Anyway, yeah, Scarlet Witch gets a new costume design, and she's more blonde haired and black haired. I think it's brown hair, but I don't know if she was brown before. But anyway, that's just me. I think she was brown all the way through, but I don't know. But yeah, she's got a new costume design. It's really good. And it's in when his Cap's about to and the Captain, it's like the final shot of Cap and Black Lord, and the Cap's going to say Avengers. And then the screen goes back and say, Joss, really? Do you have to cut that out? Why can we not just hear the famous the Avengers Assemble call? Oh my god. I wish they'd do it in Captain America Civil War. Even though it's not Avengers movie. Well, it is technically Avengers movie point 2.5, but oh god. Seriously, if they don't do an Avengers Assemble call in Avengers Infinity Wars, I will be pissed. They really need to do that. They got a mid-credit scene. You know, I love it. You know, it's Thanos. You know, tires of these. Bit disappointed that there's. You know, he's like disappointed like not all these failures. You know, so far that happened, and you know, we just get the Infinity Gauntlet. You know, there's no gems in it, but it's just the gauntlet. It just goes fine. I'll do it myself. You know, it is indicating that he's going to be the next villain, you know, because we got the third Avengers movie is Infinity War, so yeah. I'm a bit disappointed that there's no end credit scene, which there's like a fake one that's made up with Spider-Man, really. It's really impressive, and you know, it's just this guy just wiping windows off on the building. You know, there's the Avengers Tower just. Right behind him, and then just like the next shot, you know, there's with Spider-Man. It's like this guy just wiping windows down on the building. Spider-Man's going, "Hey, you missed a spot! I said you missed a spot!" You know, he just keeps on working. You know, and it's just no to your left, and no your other left. Oh, never mind. And you know, I just love that. If that was in a movie, that would be brilliant, but. Marvel has their own reasons, but I wish that Spider-Man would get his own credit scene, you know, soon. I don't know. That's just me anyway. I don't think he ever will, but anyway. I just wish that I mentioned about the mid-credit scene with Thanos, but there wasn't an end credit scene in this movie, and I just wish there were of Spider-Man, but that one was... But there was a fake one made on YouTube and it was brilliant. I wish that was in the movie, so yeah. That's just me. I'm a huge Spider-Man fan, so yeah. Overall, Avengers Age of Ultron is a great follow-up to the first Avengers movie. It's not as glorious as Captain America, the Winter Soldier, but it's very enjoyable to see if you're a Marvel fan and that you really love the Avengers. It's very action-packed, it's have great humour mixed with dark moments, and great acting and exciting new characters. My overall verdict, 8 out of 10. It's really great, so yeah. That's all my thoughts about Avengers Age of Ultron. So be sure to comment, subscribe, like or dislike, and I'll be back with another vlog review on Ant-Man. See you soon.